And we're live. Hey, welcome to the
Hi.
Clydesdale Fitness and Friends wrap up of day one of the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, or the Macc, as some people like to call it. Dash is our special guest.
He's the best.
So I was here in Knoxville. Kat is in Delaware.
Yep.
She was watching while not working.
hmm If I wasn't
So
interviewing
what?
people for Granite Games, but yeah, I tried to watch as much as I could.
So what do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's talk about the events. Since you were there in person, the opening events were just like they were last week, the CrossFit lifting events. So for the teams, it was a max snatch event, and it was our first time getting to see Mayhem Independence. No, is that the name of Yeah, Mayhem Independence. A bunch of teams from Coda and Kilo. And what were your initial impressions of that? How was the energy? Were there a lot of people there? Did it?
So I think the energy was definitely up a notch from last week.
Okay.
We are going into Memorial Day weekend, so probably more people had the day off
Yeah.
to make an extended weekend. It got crazy. There were some big lifts in the men's piece,
Right.
CrossFit shoe fly, killer lift, didn't even look hard. And then Luke Parker matched that for independence.
So
And
were the guys lifting like 295, 300? 295, I think
295.
was the highest that I saw. Yeah. Okay.
There was one attempt at 300, but missed.
Told you.
Dash liked that attempt, but it was missed.
Yeah. And then on the women's side, we had a gal from Coda who I think got 195,
200.
200. Okay. That was impressive.
It was. And then Sasha Nieves, is that right?
Something like that.
Matched that. And because Independence came in as the overall number 2 seed, number 1 seed here, they were the last team to go.
Right.
So the men came out to watch on the side. And when she hit that whole Mayhem crew just went bananas.
Went crazy. Yeah. That's neat. I mean, they're lucky that they live so close to that, it's basically a local competition and they can have a lot of people in the stands. I also noticed Tia Claire Toomey in the audience, and you were
Well,
sitting
before we
next
go
to
to
her for a
that,
little bit.
Rich was back.
Yeah. I
Rich was
mean,
back coach at
everybody
Mayhem.
was. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Tia is here.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane.
Yep.
And the whole Proven crew.
And Dwight and Nick.
They are loud and proud here this weekend.
Did you notice? I know Training Think Tank has some athletes. Is Max there by any chance? Did you see him?
I have not seen Max.
Okay.
I've seen Justin Cutler and Kiefer.
Justin got some press on the broadcast. He noticed that he was on the camera and was, making faces. So I definitely saw Justin when we were watching.
So I got a few pictures of Justin while Danielle was lifting.
Oh, yeah.
That are gold. I just have to
awesome.
download them.
Very cool. Now he was, we knew that Danielle, oh, well, let's just move into the lifting for the women since we're talking about it. We knew Danielle wasn't going to win that event, but she held her own. I think she struggles a little bit with her front squat, but she did well. I think she placed 9th in that event. Here, wait, I can go to the leaderboard and tell us how she did. There were a bunch of ties, obviously, because there was no tiebreaker, but she tied for 13th. But there's a 3-way tie for 2nd, a 2-way tie for 5th, and then a 5-way tie for 7th or something ridiculous. But she ended up hitting 210, which was, right right around the middle of the pack there. And did you get to see Calorina Key's 235-pound complex?
I did not. I did
Okay.
not.
That was impressive. She had more in the tank for sure. But I don't think she clearly she didn't need it because she won it. She won the event, but she had a nice time doing that. And then Sydney Mikulishin came out nice and strong, along with Kyra Milligan,
Yeah.
who I wasn't
And
necessarily expecting to be, to go that heavy. But I haven't followed her for very long, and I don't know much about
Kira
her.
Napoli,
Yes,
she hit 325 as well.
225. Yep, they all tied for
225.
second
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
So I have interviews with two of those people, if you would like to
Awesome.
hear one.
Yeah, you gonna put it up now?
Yeah, I'll put up the Kira Napoli one because the cool thing, and I just happened to be standing there, she was being coached by Tia Claire Toomey, which Kira did not expect. It just kind of happened.
Oh, really? She didn't realize.
And she talks about it in the interview.
Okay.
So I'm with Kira Napoli, who just won Heat 2 of Event 1 with a 225-pound complex. How did it feel?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I really wanted 220, so 225 was like huge, and I was already happy. And I was lucky enough to have Tia. She was standing right there, and I was actually looking for the proven coach, so I couldn't find it, but Tia was right there. So I was like, for my second one, should I do 220? She's like, yeah, it felt good. And then my very last lift, before I did 25, she was telling me to breathe and calm down, and like hearing like the best in the world yelling at you is just so cool and got me so fired up. So
this is your first time on a big stage, and you got to lift heavy. You excited about that?
Yes, I was really happy since it's my first comp to start out with something that I'm confident in. Kind of got the nerves out. I'm still shaking, so that was so exciting, and I'm really happy that I got to start on a good note and kind of get some of those nerves out on the floor.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the weekend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool. I actually, when I saw that on Instagram, I think I called out Dwight and Nick, and I was like, which one of you were not paying attention to your athlete during the lift? I guess they figured Tia had it under control.
So I will tell you one thing that's a little bit different is coaches are trying to sneak down the sidelines this week. And they started to put a kibosh on that at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, technically, well, I see what you're saying. I mean, that was a good time to do it, though, because the lifts, the way the floor was set up was sort of horizontally as opposed to vertically. But yeah, I guess the security detail needs to get a little tightened up there. Well, it's like me when I was behind the rig the first time and then got kicked out behind the rig. I didn't know I was not allowed to be there, so that was my fault.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, speaking of like credentials and access. Why are you not in the same room we were in last weekend? What happened?
I really couldn't tell you other than as soon as we got there this morning, we were asked to find another place.
Like,
and,
just like, hey, sorry, you're not welcome here kind of thing?
It was like due to more media credentials being given out.
Okay.
So this is translation. Buttery
Right.
Bros are
Amy.
there this week.
Amy, get your earphones. Oh, they are?
The Buttery Bros are here this week. Morning Chalk Up has more representation. So we were asked to move, and they put us where the judges were.
Yeah.
And the judges still are. Complete disaster today.
Oh, that stinks.
Complete disaster.
So are the Buttery Bros...
Because nobody told the judges we were going to be there.
Well, sure. Yeah, and then you're just kind of like, are the Buttery Bros and Morning Chalk Up in the room that we were in? Oh, that's shitty. Oh, well.
Yep. So, and they put us with the judges because we can still access the high speed Wi-Fi. But if you go away from that room, you lose it.
Right.
And that's what we found last week when we tried to go upstairs or whatever.
Are you allowed to walk through that room at least? Like, do you have access to that room, or you're not like allowed in it at all?
I probably was in my feelings too much to walk back in the room,
Okay.
just being
Is Will?
honest.
Yeah, is Will
Do you
back
need
there?
to unpack? Oh, go ahead.
Will's back. Did you see Justin Berg or Boz?
I have not.
Do you know who the
Very bright.
CrossFit liaison is?
Jenny Orr.
Okay. What else did I want to ask you about the room? Is Evelyn there?
I don't
Haven't
know
seen
who
her.
Evelyn is.
Yeah, you do. She's the cute little brunette that works for CrossFit and does like the sideline interview stuff. Evelyn and her camera girl.
I have not seen them, no.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
But it doesn't mean they're not there, because usually
Sure.
they're like interviewing the top 5 at the end of the weekend,
Right.
not necessarily like throughout the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kat, are you at home or are you at the gym?
I'm at home.
Okay.
My notes are at the gym.
Yeah, I didn't know if you slept at the gym because
Oh.
it feels like you're there most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I almost stayed there, but I thought I'd come home and make an appearance for a little bit. My daughter just came downstairs. I'm in the basement, and she and her boyfriend just got home, and she's like pantomiming to me like. I was like, sorry, dude.
We
Find somewhere
want
else
to
to hang
make
out.
out in the basement.
Right. This is like the makeout room. So I'm
Yeah.
invading right now. Too bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, so on to the men's side of event 1.
Yes. So
We'll talk about the media stuff more on our roundtable.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to know sort of a little bit about what was happening there. So who was the guy that made the crazy opening lift of 335 in the first heat? He ended up tying for first, I think. Right? Luis.
Oh, Luis, the guy that I said.
Oh yeah.
Straight up on steroids.
Yeah. So
Straight up on roids. He does. It just looks like it. I didn't say he was.
So he opened up at 335, which is like where everyone else was ending. So that was a little bit crazy. He missed that lift and then he ended up going down. And I think he ended up getting the 335. But apparently one of his buddies or somebody that he trains with got 340 last week. And so his goal was 350. And he did not hit that goal. But let's talk about the most surprising sequence of lifts, which was Noah Olson missing 2 of his 3 attempts. Now, is that nerves? What was that? Very surprising.
It looked like a lack of, support. Overhead. Like, I know he's strong.
I think he is known for coming out so hot on things. Like, I think he's just a ball of energy coming out on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to see probably a replay of it, but did he miss going too strong or too weak? Like, did he miss over his head or out in front?
Oh, I don't know. I was
think
like
over his head.
Oh,
he missed it. He missed like just the jerk.
They did.
Yes.
And jerks.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And the squatting and all that.
Yes. Yes.
What about
Saxon and Spencer crushed it though.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. And my buddy Dallin Pepper is doing pretty well too.
Yeah, he did.
I'm trying to think if there are any other highlights from that event.
Zach Watts.
Oh,
Zach Watts went for 345 and just missed the jerk. I don't even think he gave really a valid attempt at the jerk. I think he just wanted people to know he could do the rest of it at 345.
Yeah, for sure. How about Traven Benton with 330?
Yeah, he came out hot in the first round.
That was really cool. Yeah, that was one of the guys that I interviewed. He was awesome. And I let Sean Woodland know that it's Traven and not Trayvon.
Did he
He
appreciate
came up
that?
to me. I
feedback?
actually interviewed him as well. If
Who?
you want to play that, Traven.
Oh, Traven, yeah. But yes,
So-
Amy, he did appreciate it because I also
Okay, good.
put him on the Grease Saber pronunciation, and he thanked me for that as well. So I'm just here to make sure that these athletes get their names pronounced correctly, because
Mhm.
that's like a big thing with me. People are
So
gonna have to
he
deal with
came
it.
up to me after when I was getting ready to interview him, and I said, Traven. He goes, you got my name right. It's like Raven. I said, I know. Kat makes sure we get everything phonetically spelled. And she told me, like, you better not mess it up.
Yeah, that's so funny. I
So
think
I can
Cole.
play the interview with him.
Yeah, do that.
So I'm with Traven Benton, who just posted a 3:30 complex out on the floor. How'd it feel?
Man, it felt awesome. Just practicing, my best was like 320, and, just having the hype squad up in the crowd, my coach, my wife, and all my friends, it was awesome. I mean, it's such a blessing to hit that. It's awesome. So, especially on the first day. So,
So you were the winner of Heat 1. That's the weight to beat. You think it's going to hold up?
we'll see. There's some freaking athletes that have been doing this for a while, so I'm excited to see what they hit, but I'm really happy with what I hit, so it was awesome.
So it was a great start to the day. What are you looking forward to now the rest of the weekend?
Just recovering right now, and then just continue to compete. Just pour my heart out this whole weekend and just see what happens.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the weekend.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love seeing, first heat guys do
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and he's a nice human. Oh, sure. Okay, so that's it for the strength event. So we had Zach Watts and Luis Oscar Mora at the 335, Nick Thomas and I'm going to say it again now, Traven at 330, and then Saxon and Dallin and Tyler Christoffel all at 325.
325. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did Spencer get 320?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Spencer got 310.
Okay.
Oh, he missed it.
He missed
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Mitch McClune, Carrie Pierce's boyfriend, he got
Yes.
eighth place in that event at 320. He tied with
Mhm.
Cam Crockett and Cole Sager. So that's pretty cool. All right. So the second event for individuals was, I love the name, Midline Sadness, as opposed to Midline Madness. And I'm going to sneeze here in a second. Maybe not. Maybe. No, I'm not. Okay. And that was a combination of GHD sit-ups, handstand walking, all the way down to the end of the floor, and then overhead squats. So, Scott, you had like a front row view for that event, correct?
Yes, I did. Well, to the handstand walk and the overhead squats.
Okay. So, what was going on? I felt like there were like no reps being called, no reps not being called. I felt like certain heats were, it was almost as if something happened and then like the judges had a meeting, and then the next heat, it was like they're calling everything.
So the first heat, it was crazy.
Okay.
In the outside lanes, we're calling it super strict.
Mm-hmm.
The inside lanes were like hack squats, and they were okay.
Wow. Okay.
And then I'll say this too. Gosh, I hate saying. I'm not going to sit with the judges tomorrow.
They're not going to let you.
If a head judge comes over to correct something and it doesn't get corrected yet still walks away, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So let's go there for a quick sec.
Sure.
You guys have been on the. I'm getting a feedback here. Hang on just a second. You guys have been on the judging. You know what the standards, what the requirements are. So any other professional sport, right, has referees that have to go through a certain amount of training and a certain amount of, I don't know, testing requirements in order to get that job. So besides the $10 CrossFit online judges course. What are the other requirements for judges for these specific competitions? I truly don't know.
I don't know.
I think
mean, honestly,
for this
I don't know.
level, you
I'm
have to
not-
have an L1.
Okay. So that might be something
I
to
don't even know
consider.
that that's the case, Scott. I've never selected judges for a semifinal, so I don't know what that criteria is. I'm
just
hoping.
so in the regional days, you had to have an L1.
Yeah, I mean, but I know for a fact that there have been head judges that don't have L1s. So
So I guess I'm just thinking if we are trying to professionalize the sport more so, then maybe that's one other aspect that we need to be more stringent about is
yeah, but I don't know that that's would solve it. I mean, I agree with you that that's probably an important piece, but to be able to tell if somebody's below parallel or not, I don't think you need a level 1 certification to be able to do that or to have the confidence to do that. And I think it's more of the latter. I think it's having the confidence, to be able to like see something and insist that it be to standard. And I think I don't know what that criteria is to find someone good at that.
sure. I guess what I'm thinking of though is, I mean, these are all still volunteers.
Yep.
So if we want to professionalize the sport, then we might need to professionalize, making this more of a paid opportunity for people who have a little bit more skin in the game than like, oh shoot, I messed up. I know this is a big deal, but I'm
Right.
volunteering.
And it's everybody, and for some people, it's their first time. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
has a first time that they're doing this, and it's at a big event like this. So, I know that the head judges do a really good job of trying to get experienced judges in the center lanes and less experienced judges on the outside lanes when when there's a final or, when the heats are seated in such a way. But again, I don't know what that solves really either, because some of the people in the middle are some of your best movers. And I would argue that maybe some of the people on the outside aren't the best movers. So
And
Go
I
ahead.
need to piggyback on that because that's where the inconsistency seemed to be.
right.
The outside lanes were calling it by the letter of the law
Mm-hmm.
and being overly strict, because I think, and maybe that's the way it should be. Maybe as a seasoned vet who gets the middle lanes, they're letting things go. And that happens in all sports, baseball, football. The really good players get a break.
Right.
You know,
It's almost like when you
The-
coach really experienced athletes in your class, you don't pay too much attention to them. You pay more attention to the beginners, right? It's that kind of same concept. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to belabor it at all just because, I mean, we have personal relationships with the judges
Oh.
and like I don't want to, but I mean, the announcers were even mentioning it.
Yeah.
I
guess
and
the inconsistency.
go ahead, Amy.
I was going to say that was my whole point of bringing it up is I'm not trying to down or belittle the judges. I'm trying to say they maybe aren't in the best position and they aren't
Right.
set up for success because we have high expectations, but yet they're volunteers.
Yep.
And they're
And it's a
giving away
really
their
hard
weekend.
job.
Absolutely.
It's a really hard job. Yeah, and
So I'm
I
saying
was
if we're going to be so harsh, then we need to give them paid opportunities.
right. And it's unfortunate because some of the best floor judges are now in leadership, which is great that that they have those opportunities, but they're the most confident ones that call it correctly, and their talents are not on the floor anymore calling reps, which is unfortunate.
Well,
But I
the other thing
understand
that
why.
I don't think people understand is you don't always get the best position as a judge if it affects the broadcast.
Oh, like a vantage point, you mean position?
Right.
Yeah.
So, like for those front squats, you should really be at a 45-degree angle to see hip crease. And
Right.
because of the lane size, you are more.
Well, it would be dangerous. You get your
Yeah.
head smashed by someone dropping a barbell if you're in the right position. That's a good point too.
So at these bigger competitions, because they're being broadcast, the judges don't get the best vantage point, and they're
Yeah.
making calls in not the best position.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, let's talk about the event. Event
Okay.
2, the Midline Sadness. We had Brooke Wells took the win. Oh, I wanted to say something about Brooke Wells's lift too. I was holding my breath watching her do her first split jerk, holding my breath, because it just was, it was a big deal coming off of that elbow injury at the games, and this being her first competition. And I know she's probably put heavier weight over her head before, maybe not, but I was like almost emotional. It was great to see her back on the floor, and she looks. I made comments to a lot of people after that event, like she looks really fit, and
I love
just
And event 2 showed
and to
that.
and to segue, she won. She won event 1.
I
Or
loved
event
what she
2.
said after event 1 when Nikki Brazier was talking to her, and she was like, I'm always nervous. I'm out there all the time, and it's the one time, which was the off time, that something happened. It's not most times when I go out there.
Right. Like I'm not thinking about it all the time because it was such a, an odd situation. Yeah, I agree. And then our girl Danielle Brandon came in second. No surprise there. She ran a great race as well. And Bailey Rail, she got 5th in that workout, and she actually had a really good lift too. Going back to, she's one of the smaller athletes, but she's been with Mayhem now for a couple years, and she hit 210 on that complex, which had her like in 13th place, which wasn't terrible. I think she was expecting to maybe not, to do worse than that. So I was happy to see her.
And one of our new
Hold on.
friends, Rebecca Fusilla, did really well.
Yeah, she's so cute. Yeah, she did. She
And I
held her
actually have
own
an
in
interview with
the
her.
strength event as well.
So I have an interview with Rebecca,
Okay,
and
Okay.
she brought all the cuteness with her.
she's adorable.
So I'm going to go ahead and play that now. So I'm here with Rebecca Fusilla, and you killed that workout. You have the time to beat.
Yes, I was very much looking forward to that one. Big time. We did what we could on the lift. Being a smaller athlete, I was happy with my numbers, but when I can get upside down, it's time to get upside down.
So on the lift, you were super excited. Was that a PR?
That was what I hit off of a clock in training. So having the hype, having the clock like rolling, that was what we wanted to. And that was like, I was looking at my coach in the stands the whole time. That's the number we needed. So I'm super stoked about that one too.
So you're in a pretty solid position going into the weekend. How you feeling?
Good. Just flat out good. Let's keep it rolling.
Well, good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
She's got great energy. I like her a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and if she is a great follow on Instagram.
Oh,
She
yeah.
is
She's the
funny,
best.
funny,
Reels.
funny.
Yeah, she's a coach. She cares a lot about coaching and movement and things like that. She's, got a lot of dimensions to her. She is just not, not heads down athlete, which is
And
cool
she's
to see.
what, 23 years old?
Yeah, she's just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
And can I say that Brooke Wells's GHD sit-ups
Oh
were
my gosh.
mind-blowingly fast.
Yeah, really fast. That was kind of insane.
When she started, I was like, there's no way she can hold that pace. Danielle's going to catch her. And she just kept extending the lead. She never,
guys,
ever tired.
She trains with Tia.
True.
Do you think the arm injury helped her train like her midline more while she was recovering?
Probably.
Because all she could do were legs, midline, core.
Whatever she did, it's impressive.
I gotta move, guys. Keep talking. I gotta get a
Yeah.
power cord.
Whatever she was doing is incredibly impressive. I mean, not even a year ago, she had a major surgery and a major injury. And to be competing at this high of a level and lifting those kind of weights, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So then we moved to the men, which was probably the best race of the day. The Noah Olson, Saxon Panchek, Dallin Pepper race was so fun to watch, and the crowd got so into it because Noah came out first, then Saxon and Dallin caught him. Then Saxon got ahead of both of them on the handstand walk because he did not break on the 60s or the 90. And that made all the difference.
Yeah, that was really cool to see.
Our friend Nick Johnston walked by me and he said, I'm telling you, our boy's going to win the games.
Really? That's exciting. Very exciting. And it was
so exciting to watch.
Yeah, and it was cool to see Spencer right behind him. I think he got 4th place. Noah dropped to 3rd. Dallin got 2nd. Cole Sager's up there in 5th. What was I going to ask you guys? Not Jake Marconi, but Jake Berman. Has he always had dyed blonde hair? Do we know?
I know.
Because he's rocking some serious untoned blondness.
You know, some brassy tips.
It's like, yeah. I mean, it's not terrible, but I just was pretty surprised. He got 6th in that workout. So let me just go over the final results, like for the day. On the men's side, overall, we've got Saxon Panchik in first place with 184 points, followed by Dallin Pepper trailing him by 4 points. And then behind him by 16 points is Nick Thomas in 3rd. Tyler Christoffel is in 4th, and Luis Oscar Mora is in 5th. Tied for 5th kind of for points with Cole Sager, but since Luis has an event win, he's 5th, and then Cole is 6th. And we've got Spencer Panchik, Logan Collins, Noah Olson, and Jake Berman rounding out the top 10. So Noah is sitting in 9th, not the best place for him, and he's got 126 points. So he's like 60 points-ish off of the lead. But yeah, Saxon's our boy.
And as we saw last week, no lead is insurmountable.
This is true. This is true. And Will is watching, right? Did you get to see him?
Yes. I saw on
That's cool.
The stream. And did you see him, Scott?
What's that?
Did you see Will?
Yeah.
So on the women's side, we've got Brooke Wells in first place with 176 points. Sydney McAlishan is tied with her for points, but is taking the 2nd place position because Brooke has an event win. Shelby Neal is in 3rd with also 176 points. So kind of a 3-way tie for points there in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 4th is Faith Ferguson with 152 points. And then Daniel Brandon at 148 is in 5th. And then Kyra Milligan is in 6th.
What did Danielle take in event 2?
Second place on event 2. Okay. She had a 13th and a 2nd. And then there's this tie in points again, 136 points. Kyra Milligan, Bailey Rail, and Kelly Clark. 6th, 7th, and 8th. And Megan O'Donnell, Delaware local, is in 9th, and then Taylor Reber is in 10th. So fun day, really fun day.
Taylor Reber is one of my favorite interviews that we did of the series because she said the key to a good marriage is the occasional throat chop.
That's maybe not something you should be talking about at your 25th wedding anniversary trip.
Right?
She made me laugh. What can I tell you?
Well, her affiliate is called Einhorn CrossFit. And isn't Einhorn the name of like the villain in Pet Detective?
Yes. And we talk about it in the interview. They should make shirts. And she goes, yeah, we should go Einhorn. What was it?
Einhorn is
kicker's name.
Right, is whatever, and whatever is Einhorn, yeah.
Oh gosh.
I know, I can't think of it either.
And then to finish it with Einhorn's a man is what she wants to say.
Right. That's so cool.
The shirt to say.
It. All right, so what do we have on board for tomorrow in terms of events? Tomorrow we've got legless is the morning workout for both teams and regionals. That's going to start early, and then we've got for individuals we've got the Macc Mile. That's 4 rounds on the True Form with True Form, wall balls, chest bar pull-ups, the tank push, sandbag to shoulder, and another tank push. So
did you just say 4 miles?
Sorry, 4 rounds, 400
Okay.
meters on the true form.
Okay. That's better. I was
And
like, that is going to be
if you've not seen the
boring.
true form, wear your sunglasses.
Uh-oh, what do you mean?
They are decked out in all yellow for the Mac.
Shoot.
They are
love
bright.
it.
Okay.
So the action starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. So between 9 and 11, when my gym's doing Murph, I will have to be watching team event 3, indie event 3, and male event 3, because that's going to be a race to the finish. And then we've got teams event 4 starts at noon, and then that Mac mile starts at 1 o'clock and finishes up around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Cool.
So do you think Danielle gets Brooke in the legless?
Probably.
And I think Saxon wins it
Yeah.
because the
I think
Pancheks
you're
are
right.
known for the rope climbs to win whatever.
Well, and I mean, it's kind of like poetic justice too that they would win the rope climb event, considering what happened to Scott last week. So it's kind of
So Scott is there,
fitting.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw him at the finish line.
and he is on crutches. And I actually asked him, I said, how is it? And he goes, I still don't know yet. We're waiting for results.
Mm-hmm.
But
Go hiss.
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Got to talk to a lot of people this weekend that I didn't in weeks past.
Yeah.
Tia, Matt. Matt actually came up and talked to me about interviewing his mom.
Oh, he
good.
did. What did he say? What did he say?
He goes, I was listening to it back and forth to something, and I'm like, my mom still has it. And I said, your dad's pretty doggone athletic. He goes, back then he was doing 2 packs a day and like a 40 of something every day and still killing it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Did
He's
you
the best storyteller.
you
Yeah,
didn't
he
forget to congratulate Scott on his baby, did you? Or did you?
He
did.
was limping by me, so I wasn't going to run after him to continue the conversation.
Got it. Make sure you do that next time you see him.
Okay, I will.
The other thing I don't know that we've talked about, Rachel Thibodeau. So we interviewed her last week. She's pregnant and she's competing. So badass, love her. She's just there to have a good time. You know, she's obviously not going to do anything, stupid, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Midline Sadness was not her favorite event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's sitting in last place right now. And I don't think she has any expectations, but it's cool that she gets to have this, one more experience before, her life changes completely and she becomes, the next Annie Thor's daughter of CrossFit.
There you go.
Because mom's strength is real.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go to bed.
Me too. I got to do Murph tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to be back.
I got to do Murph tomorrow.
I'm on
All
the
right,
podcast.
well, with
You want
that,
to say hi?
we will see
Hold
you
on.
next time.
Come on. Quick, hurry. Say hi.
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 Hi, Els. We'll see you next time on the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends.